Ah, okay. Welcome to a brand new video of the Target Individual Program. I wish I could have recorded a little bit earlier, but I was on the phone. Yeah, the NYPD driving back and forth. You know, so I'm leaving Pam after spending the day with the kids, and so we were watching. They were watching some television show, not television show, but Netflix show. Stranger Things. I was telling my son how that's based off of a real life event, and it's funny how they take real life events and they add a twist of supernatural sci-fi, to try to throw people off so you don't think. See, if you're not informed, you wouldn't even understand that was actually based off of a real life event in which the government were experimenting on children in New York. Okay. Many of us don't even know these things, right? And so I was telling my son about this, and also I was talking to him also about there was another scene that was also a reference to real life event. Again, another experimentation, and then we watched Sonic, right? And like I said, it's funny how when you're able to see the matrix, you're able to see the psychological, I said the code, not the, the ones and zeros that you see in the matrix, but you can actually see and recognize the psychological tactics and programming used, okay? And this is what happens when you study these tactics, particularly if you're a TI and you're being targeted in this manner, right? And you start to understand, you see it. So we was watching Sonic, and in the movie Sonic, you had Tika Sumpter and I forgot the guy's name, but he played at one point Superman. And then you had her sister. She's a overweight woman, and her fiance is Shamal Moore, right? Now Shamal Moore is a very fit actor, six pack, works out a lot, what have you. So he's in very good shape. And they decide to pair him with this overweight woman, So I'm there, I'm looking at, but it ended up being that, he played an agent, and it was like, leading her on and what have you, such. So I can see the disappointment in Pam's face, right? And I'm just like, I said, in real life that a person like him wouldn't even date anybody like her, right? That's, right? She's like, well, I have a friend that, she's overweight, her husband is fit, whatever. And I'm like, you see, black women, they are so conditioned, right? Because they always say, oh, I know somebody, that's the norm. I said, yeah, what you're talking about, the exception to the rule, right? I said, on top of that, you never know what she may have done for him, because she's like, well, he has a bit of, well, she may have given him the money for the business, right? And maybe because he understands that she's a good woman, he overlooked the fact that she, because she's done so much for him, and he loves her. That's true love, right? But ain't no way no man like that, who is fit, what have you, is going to date an overweight woman right off the back, But this is what Hollywood has done, and the type of imagery that they create to give, black women this false sense of reality. Okay, this is why you see these big women saying that they don't want no big guy like them, but they want a man who works as a six pack. But they themselves don't want to work out, right, to be fit. So she got highly upset about that. Right, and then the funny thing to be watching Stranger Things is she keep on making negative comment about the black kid and changing the kid. Why is the black kid so negative? I said, how is he negative? How is he negative? There are other white kids in the show who was saying the same thing he was saying. She didn't call him, but she pointed out the black kid specifically. Right, when there were more white kids who were in that TV program who were saying the same thing the black kid was saying. And I said to her, why is he negative? Because he's telling the truth, because he's being objective, because he's being logical. Okay? Is that why? And so then, so she was like, oh, I'm tired, and, I can't watch, I got so much to do. So I put on Sonic the Hedgehog, and she stayed and she watched it. But of course, every time the police sirens will go off again, she would start targeting me, right? She would start targeting me, But I watched it with her. She targeted me, I targeted her back. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I look over her, I was just like, and whatever. I was like, I was like, I'm glad I'm going home. I'm not staying. Because my daughter was like, are you going to stay? And I told her no. So when I told my daughter no, about a minute later, she had the police siren showed up, and then that was when she started targeting me. Aggressively, I would say, right? Because I guess they wanted me to stay. You hear that? Yeah. There we go.
I can't understand why you are saying this. You understand? And it's pressure.
So, anyway, as I was saying, so, that's when I left, and I was on the phone talking to somebody. I got to the bus stop, and it was a police vehicle. Again, they got to show themselves, police vehicle. So, like I said, they know I'm on the phone. That's why they that's why they showed up. Because yesterday they were. Did I see them yesterday? I don't think so. Except for everybody going home on the bus, and they're parked up on the bus stop with the lights flashing. But that's about it. But anyway. So yeah, But I was just really, really. When I look at her and I'm just like, so we're watching this show. You have other white kids who are saying the exact same thing as the black kid is saying, but you homing on the black kid, but you don't like the black kid. She's like, oh, he's so dark. And the fact that, there's nothing that he said that was dark. Okay? Except for his skin color. His skin color was, he was a beautiful, heavily melanated young kid. Okay? Very handsome young boy, I should say. But she's like, oh, he's so dark and this, and I'm just like, come on. I just like, we don't, and I guess when you're open to this, seeing this stuff and understanding it, you're kind of like in disbelief. But at one point, you were probably like that. Not to say that I was, because I was never, I love myself, my complexion, what have you. I've dated very, very dark skin. I don't have. When it comes to black people, we are all black. We are all black. Okay, I don't believe in colorism. I don't practice colorism. Okay, I don't. I'm not indoctrinated into that self-hatred bullshit that most of us are. You know what I'm saying? And which is fine. Which is perfectly fine. Which is perfectly fine. Okay? That is perfectly fine. But for me, no. Actually, no, I shouldn't say it's perfectly fine, because it's not. Sometimes I got to check myself, because again, they try to get you to particularly in this type of programming, particularly you live in a liberal state. A lot of people tend to forget that liberals are racist too. They're more racist and more devious than the conservative racists. You see, the liberals, they're the one that working, the scientists, the neurologists in the labs, splicing genes, creating psychological programs, for us. Okay? So, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Anyway, I'm getting on my bus.